I stuck to it all right. But pretty soon it was only a week to fair time, and I'd only earned $2.14. That wasn't near enough. I had to make a real killing somehow. Then one day, Tildy was the little girl on the next farm, and she was helping me. We were in Mr. Grundy's general store. Somebody came in to buy some wild honey, and Mr. Grundy didn't have any. And he said to me,
"Now, there's an idea for you, Jeremiah boy. You want to get rich quick? Well, just go out and find yourself a wild bee tree. Pay you 10 cents a pound for the honey."
And Tildy said,
"How do you find a wild bee tree, Mr. Grundy?"
"Well, that's easy as pie, Tildy girl. Well, you just go down there, you take the, you just find a bee and follow him home."
Find a bee and follow him home. We didn't know that Mr. Grundy was only joking. And it was lucky we didn't, because we did exactly what he said. And a couple of days later, way down in the dark swamp, we found the bee tree. The hollow trunk was stuffed full of wild honey. And next day, when Uncle Hiram drove me home from the store, he sang,
"Jerry Kincaid followed a bee till he come to a cottonwood tree, sawed that tree off to the ground. 2 tubs of honey was what he found. That load of honey got the money for the fair. Jerry Kincaid's a millionaire. The storeman paid 10 cents a pound. Wait till Granny sees the money Jerry found."
I could hardly wait to see Granny's face when I showed her all that money. But when we drove up to the barn, Granny ran out to the wagon crying,
"Have you seen Tildy?
You know how much money I got here, Granny?
My land, not now. I'm trying to tell you that Tildy's lost. She brought a load of clover up here to feed that fool lamb, and when she opened the gate, it bolted for the deep woods."
What business she have opening that gate? What'd you let her do it for?
Jeremiah.
Which way Daddy go?
Well, down by Indian Creek, but they ain't there now. I've searched every inch of it. Come back here, Jeremiah. Oh, drat that boy. All he cares about is that fool lamb.
Danny was lost in the swamp. And the fair was the day after tomorrow. I had to find him. I had to. Most of that night I stumbled through the swamp searching and calling. Well, if only I could see something. But it was pitch dark in the swamp and the rain was beating in my eyes and blinding me. I was almost frantic. The dogs were abroad in the swamp. The wild dogs that the farmers call the sheep killers. I had to find Danny before they got him and killed my dream. My blue ribbon and casual wallet. If only I could see something. And then, I don't know what time it was, but long after midnight probably, I saw a light bobbing in the distance. It came closer. I ran stumbling toward it. It was Granny.
Jeremiah! Oh, Granny, I gotta find him! I just gotta find him!
For heaven's sakes, boy. Why, you're just soaked to the bone.
I heard the dog!
Come along home. You can't find Danny at night in this here storm. Come
But
along
Granny!
now.
So, Granny took me home and put me to bed. The wind and the rain were still howling against the windows. It just didn't seem right that after all my work, after even getting the money for the fair, at the last moment my chance to own a champion was being snatched right out of my hands. Granny heard me crying and came into the bedroom to comfort me.
Now. Maybe Danny found a holler log and crawled into it where the dogs can't find him. However it is, it's beyond our earthly power to help.
He ain't dead! He ain't dead!
I I didn't say he was. I'm only trying to tell you to remember that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Well, he can't have him. He can't take Danny.
You're not telling the Lord what he can do or can't do. The Lord will do the telling.
I just turned my face away. I wouldn't listen.
No, Jeremiah, you can't do this. You started out by loving the lamb. That's why I let you keep him. But you don't love that lamb anymore. What you love is blue ribbons and cash awards. You ain't thinking of that lamb. You're just thinking about yourself. I'm going to leave you alone now, Jeremiah. You know what's right, but you'll have to find it in your own heart to do what's right.
I lay awake all that night, thinking and praying. Next morning, soon as it was light, I was up and dressed and out in the woods to hunt for Danny. The storm was over and now I could see. And sure enough, I found him, right where Granny said he'd be, all snuggled up in a hollow log. Oh, gosh, he was glad to see me. I led him back to the farm, wondering how to tell Granny something very important I'd decided. Granny heard us come in and walked over to where I was combing out Danny's wool.
Well, he don't look none the worse for wear.
Granny, about the county fair. Danny and I aren't going.
What made you change your mind?
Well, last night I promised God if he'd let me find Danny, I wouldn't take him to the fair. And he did.
Well, well, now, if this ain't a fine howdy-do, it happened that, I made a promise, too. I promised God that if he did let you find him, that we would go to the fair. And since I've known him longer than you have, I reckon it'll be all right with him if I keep my promise. Forgive me, Lord. I meant to tell you afore. Had it in the back of my mind all the time.
And there we were, at the county fair.
Hody-I, hody-ay, what a great big wonderful day. Not a care in the air. Everybody you know from Matilda to Joe will be there at the county fair.
Your attention, please. All contestants in the Pike County Agriculture and Livestock Fair. Judging for the champion Ram Lamb will now take place in this arena.
Is that us, Granny?
I reckon it is.
Hey, you combed that black lamb till he shines, Granny. He'll win the blue ribbon sure, won't he, Jerry boy?
He will win. I just know he will.
Hope he does, but happen he don't, Jeremiah. I want you to come out of that ring like a Kincaid. Walk in proud.
Last call for the lamb judging. All contestants report to the ring. Your attention, please. The judging for the champion Ram Lamb of the Pike County Fair is now taking place in the main arena.
As I stood up there in the ring beside Danny, in a line with the other contestants, I was so scared my knees knocked together. Hundreds of people were watching us. The judge inspected the lambs one by one, and then he went over to one side and talked with the committee. Once he looked back over his shoulder at Danny and me, and Danny went... At last the judge came back to the platform and held up his hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the champion Ram Lamb, your judging committee has awarded the blue ribbon to Mr. Marshall.
Well, I'd lost. I wished the earth would crack open and swallow me up. But somehow I felt more sorry for Danny than myself.
It's all right, Danny. It's all right, boy.
And then I saw Granny looking up at me from the crowd, so brave and stern, and I remembered what she'd said.
I want you to come out of that ring like a Kincaid, walking proud.
And that's what I did. I took in a deep breath and squared my shoulders, and
Just a moment, son. What's your hurry?
the judge was calling me back to the ring. Had I done something wrong?
That's quite a lamb you have there, son. Only trouble is, it's black. Kind of put your lamb in a class by himself. I'm not trying to be funny, folks. This lamb is in a class by himself. It's what you do with what you got that counts. This little lamb is a champion in every sense of the word. Therefore, it is the unanimous decision of your judging committee that there be awarded the breeder a special prize. A special blue ribbon for merit to Jeremiah Kincaid. Congratulations, Mr. Kincaid.
Get out the way for Jerry's lamb. Die-diddy-do, diddy Jerry's lamb. Get out the way for Jerry's lamb. Get out the
Well,
way.
that's exactly the way it
Get out the
happened.
way.
I'll never forget the homecoming,
Jerry's lamb.
getting off the train at Fulton Corners and leading my champion as all the folks cheered. And though the blue ribbon is faded now, it still shines bright in my memory. As long as I live,